I hate to say it, guys, but the end of fall is quickly approaching and it's time to prepare your home for colder weather. But don't worry, today we're breaking it down into 4 easy steps. So preparing your home for winter can really seem like an overwhelming task whenever you look at the long list of to-dos that you have. But we're breaking it down into 4 easy steps so that we're hoping you can maybe take 1 step per weekend and maybe spread it out over the next 3 or 4 weekends so that you can make sure that you get everything done, because let me tell you, it is worth it to make sure your house is well taken care of and to make sure it is protected from the winter weather that's probably going to be coming our way very soon. So tip number 1 is to clean up the yard. Now this is by far the most time-consuming of all of our tips, so you may even need to take a weekend or 2 to devote to this one, depending on how much space you have in your yard. So the basics of cleaning up your yard, I mean, most of you probably know, but you want to rake up all of the leaves. You want to make sure you get the leaves away from your foundation, out from the flower beds. Having those leaves around your plants is not a good thing. It can cause root rot, it can cause slugs and other infestations in the spring, so you want to make sure you get all of that cleaned out. You want to trim back all of your bushes and your trees if they have dead branches. The snow can sit on those dead branches and it can really cause damage to the trees and bushes, or it can cause the branches to fall maybe on your car or on your home, and you definitely don't want that. If it's a large tree, definitely call in a professional to help you with that. The other things you can do are trim down your perennials. You know, they're done flowering for the year, so trim them down to ground level, and what that does is it allows them to build stronger roots so that they come back even stronger in the spring. And the last thing would be to pull out your spent annual flowers. You know, they're done flowering, pull them all out and gather everything up. You can put them in those bags that you get at Lowe's or Home Depot for all of your yard clippings, and send them off with the trash man, and you're good to go. So tip number 1 is to clean up the yard. Tip number 2 is a big one, and that is to prepare your plumbing. We get cold winters here in Pittsburgh in the Northeast, and so you want to make sure that you're winterizing any exterior hoses that you have. So actually remove the hose, drain it, coil it up, store it away in the shed, but make sure that you are turning off the hose bib from the inside and draining any excess water out, because it will freeze and you will have, trust me, I learned this from experience, you will have water in your basement, or you'll have water in your home somewhere, because the pipe will burst and it will come inside. And so you don't want to have that kind of a disaster to deal with, so make sure that you winterize all of your exterior plumbing. Another good tip, especially if you get really cold winters, is to look for any plumbing that's in a colder area of your house, and maybe give it a little bit more extra insulation. If you have a pipe that runs through your garage or a cold area in your basement, maybe wrap it in some additional foam insulation just to be sure that you don't have a frozen pipe in the winter. Okay guys, so tip number 3 is to store all of your seasonal items. So you want to take everything that you moved outside for the season, your patio furniture, a fire pit if it's mobile, all of your Adirondack chairs, all of that, clean them up, tarp them, cover them, and move them in close to the house, or store them away for the season. There's no sense in them sitting outside and becoming damaged through the weather. And also your gardening tools, your planters that you had all of your annual flowers in, clean those up, empty them out, and store them away for the season. You can also clean up your yard tools, all of your trimmers and your lawnmower and all of that, clean it up, and while you're at it, get out your snow blower and all of the winter stuff so that it's at the ready for whenever the snow starts to fall. So definitely pack up all of those seasonal items and store them away so that they're not getting damaged. And your last tip for the day is to check your home for potential problem areas. So unfortunately, winter weather, it's very unforgiving, especially here in the Northeast. So you want to make sure you're keeping the winter weather out. And so this last tip is just doing a good once over of the exterior of your home to make sure that there are no ways that the winter weather can get in. So you're looking at, for example, your windows. Make sure that they're caulked properly and the caulk is not cracked around the edges of the windows. That can let in draftiness, that can let in moisture. You want to take a look at your doors and make sure the weather stripping is still good so that you're not letting drafts in there. You want to take a look at the wooden trim on your home and the siding. Make sure there's no areas that are deteriorating or rotting. Make sure there are no holes in your siding. You want to get those repaired patched, and sealed properly so that the winter weather stays out. Also, lastly, take a look at your roof, or maybe have a contractor out to take a look at your roof just so that you're safe. The shingles, take a look at the chimney. Are they in good working order? Is your chimney cap actually in place and still in good working order? You don't want animals that are seeking shelter from the cold to find their way down in there. Trust me, you don't want that, showing up in your living room. And you just don't want any damage from the weather, coming inside. So again, just check your home for problem areas. And along with that, you might want to have your HVAC person out to take a look at your furnace as well to make sure it's good to go for the winter. So those are 4 quick tips that you can use to prepare your home for colder weather. Again, break them down over the next few weekends to make sure all of that work gets done, because guys, I will tell you, it is definitely worth your while to take a little bit of time in the fall to make sure that your house is really protected against the rough winter weather that we see here in Pittsburgh. So thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with a friend who you feel might need it, and we'll see you next time.